Hi everyone! If there are any Titanic fans out there, or maybe you have a loved one who is a big Titanic fan, then I think you're really going to enjoy this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a cute little Titanic movie tribute card featuring some stamps from MFT, and then we're going to make our very own little heart of the ocean buried deep in the ocean floor at the bottom of our scene that our cute little mermaid from the Mermazing stamp set by MFT is kind of gazing down at in wonder. So let's get started. And to do so, we're going to start by stamping our mermaid because she is going to be at the forefront of the scene. And then I just stamped our little heart of the ocean, and I just used a heart stamp that I had on hand. I think it was from Simon Says Stamp, but honestly, any heart stamp you have will do. You could even draw it in the heart by hand. The important thing is to mask off the very bottom of the heart because we're going to make it look like the necklace is buried in the sand by the time we're done with the video. So now that I have stamped and masked all of my images, I'm going to start coloring in the background, and we'll start with the ocean floor, and I'm going to use E30 for that. And then we're going to color in these little sea greenery with some YG93. I didn't mask these off because our ocean floor is pretty light, so it's not going to look so terrible if we go over the leaves with some light colored markers. And also sometimes I like the look of going over images with the background marker because then it can kind of make the image look like it's blended into the scene. Including there's one fish at the very top that I forgot to mask. That was an accident, but I used that mistake to my advantage, or I made the best out of it. And as you'll see, it's that little fish right there in the upper left-hand corner. We're just going to color him in with some dark colors, and it's going to look like, because he's so dark, that he's really far back in the scene, so far away from us. So that's another way to play with color to help to add depth to your cards or your scenes. So the color gradient I'm using is one you've seen me use a lot on this channel. This is probably my favorite gradient for doing an ocean floor. It's E30 and E31 on the bottom for the sandy bottom of the ocean. And then we have some BG10 to blend our ocean floor into the actual ocean waters. And then we go to B000, B00, B21, B34, and then B37 at the very top for our darkest color. And now I'm just gonna take the masks off of all of my images, and I applied some colorless blender to that little fish at the top, just so that I could add some more color to make him look like he's not just dark blue. And for our mermaid, we're gonna color her skin in with a base of E21, and then we're gonna do the shadows with E13, and I'm focusing the shadows towards the left of her body because I want it to appear like there is a little bit of a glow or a light emanating from the little heart of the ocean that is popping out of the sand that she's staring at. So for all of the images that are closest to the heart of the ocean, that little heart there, it's not all drawn and colored in yet, we're going to leave a light edge on the part of the image that is closest to the heart, just to help with the shine effect. For the mermaid's hair, I'm going to use E09, E13, E19, and then E29. And those are some of my favorite color, well, it's a favorite color combination of mine when I want to make auburn hair. Those colors just work really, really nice together. You get red tones, you get brown tones, and you get some honey tones as well. And it just looks really, really pretty and realistic, I think. So I'm focusing the E29 on the roots of her hair and then on the ends, making sure not to touch the middle of her head with the darkest marker because I want to leave a little bit of a highlight and I want it to look like her head is shaped round. So making sure that the center part of her head is light will help with that effect. And now for our little fish up in the upper left-hand corner, I'm just coloring him in with some darker markers. And then we're going to move to our little seashells and we're going to make them pink with some RV000 for a base, RV 55 for our shadow color, and then RV 52 for our midtone. And I really love adding pink to this ocean scene, especially since we're going to have a really bright blue heart of the ocean right next to them. I just thought that those colors would look really, really pretty in the same scene together. So that's why I made my seashells pink. For the mermaid's outfit and for her tail, we're gonna just give her standard mermaid colors. We're gonna give her a little purple bikini top, and then we're gonna make her tail blue-green with BG000 and then BG45 and BG49, which is probably my favorite color if I am making a mermaid tail, but I do try to change it up with some other color combinations. And I'm just leaving the center of her tail and the centers of her fins pretty light, just to help give dimension to her body. And then for the little rocks up front, we're going to color them in with some E40s. And I'm going to make sure that the part of the rock that's closest to the heart of the ocean is very light, because I want it to look like I said, the heart of the ocean is casting kind of a glow against the rocks. And by having a little color gradient from darkest to lightest, that's going to help with that effect with those rocks there. Now we're going to color in some of the sea greenery. So I'm going to use G24 and G29 for two of our little plants. And then for the remainder of the plants, we're going to use a combination of YG93, 95, 97, and 99 to shade those in. And I'm just kind of adding the shading to the edges, trying to leave the centers of the leaves pretty light, trying to leave the sections that are closest to the heart of the ocean light, so to the center of the scene, those I'm trying to keep them pretty light if I can. And then I'm just going to add in my darkest shadow color with the YG99, just a really thin strip along the outer edges of the leaves here. And now comes the fun part. This was my favorite part of the whole card, was making the heart of the ocean and making it look like it's buried in the sand. And to do that, I just kind of stippled on some color with my E35, just dotted it on there, and then added some more dots with E37, which is a darker color, and then blended all that together with my E31 and my E34. And then I'm just going to go around the scene and add some more little grains of sand with my E31, just to help make it look like there's some dimension to the ocean floor. Now we're going to add some shading along the edges of the scene, and this is going to help really make it look like that heart is glowing in the center of the scene. So I'm just being careful to just put some dark color on the edges, and then leaving that area around the heart and around the mermaid's face pretty light, because I wanted it to look like there's a little bit of a glow that's casting up on the mermaid's face as well, from just the awe I guess she's feeling from looking at this beautiful necklace that's half buried in the sand. And then for our little fish up top, I'm just going to use some kind of muted tones, some yellow oranges, and then some corals. I just thought that that would be a nice complement to the other colors that are in the scene as well. And now we're going to add some detail to our necklace. So I put a little clasp, it's just a triangle shape at the top of our heart, and then I'm going to add the little diamonds around it. I just drew in little circles with my 0.3 multi-liner. And then we're going to color in the heart of the ocean, and for this I'm using B21, B24, B26, and B28. So it's a lot of colors in a small area, but as you see, by using that gradient, it's really going to make the heart of the ocean look dimensional, like it's just kind of bursting out of the sand. And kind of the way that it looked in the movie to me, it looked like it was a really, really rounded object, right? It really stood out from Rose's neck when she was wearing it. So I'd like to know in the comments, so what do you think about the older Rose throwing the heart of the ocean into the ocean at the end of the movie? Do you agree with that move, or do you think maybe she should have given it to her granddaughter? Or maybe just gave it to the poor guy that flew her all the way out to his ship who'd been hunting for this thing for 2 years. So just let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you as to what you thought about that little plot point in the movie. So now we're going to add our sentiment. It says, sending you an ocean of love. This sentiment comes from the Fantastic Friends stamp set, but there is also a similar sentiment in the Mermazing stamp set that you could use as well. I think it says sending you oceans of love, which not much of a difference there. Now I'm just going to add some little bubbles to our little yellow fish, and I didn't get a good impression, so I'm just filling in the missing lines with my multi-liner, which is a trick I use often when I don't get a good impression. And then I'm going to shade in the bubbles with some B45 and BG10, go over the eyes with a black glaze pen, and that's it. That's our card for today, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope everyone is having a great weekend, and I would love to hear from you in the comments as to the projects you're working on and what you thought about this card. I will see you again soon in the next video.